For me, myself, personally, I would say I'm quite measured in my expectations for 2022. So I cover the current affairs beat with a particular focus on marginalization, inequity, gender inequality, and what Anela said really resonated with the work that I do. And I think while it's important to also focus on the big wins, such as how quickly we've developed so very many vaccines that are increasingly covering more and more of the world's population, while a whole lot of vaccine inequity still exists, particularly in countries which are not considered part of the so-called global north. But anyhow, going back to what I feel is the most important issue and has been since even before the pandemic, but the pandemic has just exacerbated the need for gender inequality. So the impact of crises are never gender neutral, right? And COVID-19 is no exception. So right. What's happened with regards to women and girls, especially when it comes to extreme poverty, unemployment, health, unpaid care, violence against women and girls. Malaysia is such a small country in Southeast Asia, and yet we're recording an almost close to 400% increase in domestic violence cases reported to all the various women's organizations in the first few months alone of movement control orders, right? So basically, if you are also going to be looking at Oxfam's new report, it also echoes many feminist concerns from the start of the pandemic. So gender parity has also regressed from 99 years for the gap to close to roughly about 135 years now. Women collectively have lost $800 billion in earnings in 2020. There's about 13 million fewer women in work now than there were back in 2019. It all boils back down to the fact that roughly 252 men have more wealth than all 1 billion women and girls in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean combined. So I do think that we can only look towards 2022 with a more measured sense of hope and perhaps achievements to come if governments regionally, globally are going to take gender inequality caused and exacerbated by the pandemic seriously. What that's got to mean is definitely more equitable political representation, more women at the table, and not just more women, but also more men who are sensitized, gender sensitized, and are truly committed to working towards rebuilding structures and policy making that can actually affect social equity. So when you talk about gender-based budgets and you talk about gender budgeting, this is not only about ensuring that women and girls get the best of what's there to be offered in a country. It's also ensuring that men and boys, particularly those from marginalized backgrounds, communities, they are also not left behind.